Hey guys, James with Torches and Tactical, and today we're looking at a brand that we've never dealt with before. Now this brand is Powertac. They gave us the M5 Gen 3 with 2030 lumens, and they wanted to know what we thought of this and see how it compares to some other offerings that are around the same ballpark. So the M5 Gen 3, this does, like I said, come in at 2030 lumens. It has an SST40 that gives you that 2030 lumens with a smooth reflector. This does have a beam distance or max distance of 330 meters, all while being 2-meter impact resistant with a runtime of 25 days, waterproof IPX8 to 2 meters. And if you want those candela numbers, that is 27,225 candelas. So uh, first and foremost, I just want to say, okay, let's go ahead and take a look at the actual light. Now, I don't know about you guys, but this looks like, well, actually, I brought it. It's right up here. It looks to me like a Lumentop Tool AA 2.0. Now, this, I mean, it really does look eerily similar. It looks like the beefy cousin or so of the Lumentop Tool AA 2.0. But I'll get that out of the way. That's all I wanted to say about that. What I want to do though is I want to go ahead and run through everything that comes in the package so you can know what to expect and see if everything in there is what you would expect for the price point. So let's go ahead and take a look at the box first and foremost. Now, okay, this is the M5 Gen 3. Shows you that it has non-aggressive knurling, compact for pocket carry, has a low battery indicator, and this does have their new magnetic charging system. Now, I don't have, like I said before, any experience with any other PowerTac lights. So I don't have any generational iterations to be able to compare it with. On the back, you'll see everything here. It shows a reversible pocket clip, so it does have uh, kind of a groove cut in for being able to carry with the bezel up or down, depending on how you prefer. And one really nice thing about this is if you do have a bunch of those CR123As, you can use those in place of the 18650 that comes included. So this will run off of the 3.7 volts of the 18650 or up to 6 volts from those CR123As. Now running through the entire spec sheet, let's go ahead and start at turbo. Turbo obviously does come in at 2030 lumens, runs for 2.65 hours. The high mode right here, high mode will give you 850 lumens for 2.9 hours. Medium gives you 260 lumens at 5.15 hours. Low is going to give you 23.3 hours of 65 lumens. And finally, this does have a Firefly mode. I guess you'd call it a moonlight or an ultra low. That gives you just over half a lumen and will run for 25 days. Now, as far as the size goes, this is 124 millimeters in length, does have a bezel diameter of 25.4 inches, and for those that aren't too keen on the metric system, that does come in right at about an inch, and that body diameter is 23 millimeters. So if you're looking for any sort of, I guess, a rail mount or anything like that, find something that will match at 23 millimeters. So let's go ahead and open up the box. And this is a small package that had a bunch of accessories. I do have them off to the side over here just to save you guys a little bit of time. But I did want you to note that not only underneath, here, I'll move it up here, not only underneath do they have a little bit of foam here to help protect the M5 during shipment, but they have a really, really dense foam to keep it in place. So the cutout is exactly the size of the light that you're going to be getting, and they have the foam on the bottom to protect it. So that's kind of it for the actual box. It has a very nice clear photo of it. You can see that it's a little bit glossy right there, but it is satin everywhere else. Let's get the box out of the way. And included in that box, there is the user manual, and that's going to give you all the warranty information. It's going to tell you all the same specifications and how to use the light to its fullest. So I'm going to go ahead and bring this up. If you want to go ahead and pause right here, you can see everything that this has going for it. And let's get that out of the way. Then one thing I really do appreciate is they gave you this little kind of envelope or envelope depending. And if you open this up, now I don't know about you guys, but I have a toolbox that is absolutely chock full of stickers. So they give you 1 and 2 stickers, and they also give you a registration card for your warranty. and let you know that they do recommend the Powertac 18650 cells. So let's go ahead and get this out of the way, and you better believe that these are probably going to be going on my toolbox. But let's get this out of the way, and I mean, frankly, those stickers are a very nice touch. Additionally, they do have a keychain ring, a large and a small inside this package, and a couple of replacement O-rings in case you ever have to take these apart and find that they're not as oiled as you want them to be. Now, they do have a generic lanyard, but I'm going to say this is a step above kind of the run-of-the-mill get like 100 of them for $1 type lanyards. This does have a little bit of stretch to it. It is sewn in like a round configuration as opposed to large flat ones. But I mean, it's a slight step above. It's not perfect by any means, but it is a slight step above. We'll get that out of the way. And then they do have their own wireless charging. So this is their wireless charger right here, and it goes and clips right 180 degrees of the switch right here. So we'll flip it over, and it makes very, very good contact. So it works really, really well. And if I go ahead and plug it in, you will see that there is a red battery indicator right here inside that switch, and boom, I did top it off fully, so it switched over to blue pretty darn quickly. So we'll go ahead and take that off and get this charging cord out of the way. It does have a nice braid on it, by the way, so it has their magnetic proprietary on this side and USB-A over here. And finally, there was a battery isolator on the Powertac M5 Gen3 when I got it. And that's just going to make sure that while it's being shipped to you, it's not going to turn on in the box. So now let's look at the light. Now, I already told you guys it looks quite a bit like the Lumentop Tool AA 2.0, but very, very beefy. The 6061 aluminum with that really, really thick. It's an incredibly thick anodized finish on there. It is a Type 3. Now, I saw black on their site, and that's what I have here. I don't know of any other colors, but I'm not going to go ahead. Since I don't have any experience, I'm not going to say that they do or do not have any other colors. But they said it's not an aggressive knurling on here, and I agree with them. There is quite a bit of grip, but it's not to the point where it's going to end up slicing your hand or cheese grating your fingertips when you hold the light. So it does have some small crenulations, or like a crown, if you will, on this bezel. And then you do have a glass lens with, it looks like a little bit of AR coating on there. And you have the SST40 inside from our friends over at Luminous. We see quite a few Luminous LEDs, and they all seem to work pretty well. Now, given the long, deep reflector, I kind of do want to see, frankly, how this would look with an SFT40 inside. So I may end up doing a video on how to swap over the LED on this. But there is an E-switch right here. The E-switch, the side switch right here, is an E-switch with a really, really good feedback. Has a very prominent click. I don't know if you guys can hear this. Okay, maybe not. I hope you can. But that knurling is above and below that E-switch with a really even finish on that coating. You have that magnetic charging port right here. And then it steps down. There's a pretty big shoulder, but that's because it cuts almost immediately into the pocket clip recess. So you can, like I said earlier, have that pocket clip facing up or down. So you can have a bezel down configuration in your pocket or bezel up. Seems like a lot of people like bezel down, and I agree with that. So I'm going to keep it here. So there is the Powertac logo, very, very nicely done on there. M5 Gen 3, in case you don't know what you got. Then that pocket clip looks like a lot of Workos offerings that I have seen. Obviously, a slight differences, but it does work really well. It seems like it's of a thicker material too. There's quite a bit of resistance, and comfortably, this is as far as I can get it out. But fortunately, it does have a pretty decent ramp, so you can easily get that over your pocket. It's not a deep throat at all on there, so you will have that tail cap sticking out still. And speaking of that tail cap, there is more of that knurling. That knurling continues, and there are a couple of saddles as well. That not only is going to allow you to tail stand your light, but it's also going to give you the opportunity to have quick identification of that rear switch. So we can open this up real quick, and you can see that Powertac branded. Wow, they kind of went with the Duracell look. I like the copper right there. Actually, I guess it'd be kind of reverse of Duracell. You have the copper color and then the black top. But this does come in at 2600 milliamp hours, a 3.6 volt cell, and I don't see any sort of USB on cell, but you can see the lip up here, so it does have some charging protection circuits built in. So we'll go ahead and throw this back in there, and we'll kick into the user interface. Now the user interface is very, very straightforward. I will give a caveat though, after using this for quite some time, I will say that there's one thing that I wish that they did. And if there's a secret way to do it, I don't know how. But you can hit a momentary, and that SST40 lights up in that turbo 2030 lumens. So you can go ahead and use that as a momentary because it is a forward clicky switch. So we'll go ahead and click that down. And from here, you can hit the side switch, and this will cycle. So this is that half lumen mode, but it will cycle through all of those modes. And there is a tactical strobe on here as well. So what you can do to access that is go ahead and hold down that side switch, and boom, there you go. It engages that tactical strobe, and you can press again to go to your last mode. Now, one really, really nice thing about this is whenever you have it set on any of the modes, let's go ahead and go to the third mode. You can disengage that rear tactical switch and then go ahead and go momentary directly into that. So if you are using this for a specific application, such as a tactical or law enforcement light, you can set that ahead of time and always know exactly what you're going to be in when you hit that momentary switch. Now, one thing I have not been able to find at all is a way to activate that tactical strobe with just the rear switch. I do wish that there were maybe like a double press to get that tactical strobe going, but I have not been able to find any way to do that. I think that being a tactical light, you may want instant access to your strobe, and I think that that's kind of a miss, frankly. But now that we've gone over the light, the user interface, how to get to all of those modes, what I want to do is I want to compare it to another recent tactical offering, and this is the Workos TDO2. Now you can see that one's a more traditional tactical light, if you will. The Powertac M5 G3 looks very traditional as far as a typical flashlight design goes. But the new kid on the block, the Workos TDO2, gives you a lot of different, let's go ahead and say different design mindset, and does offer that rear tactical switch as well. Now, one unfortunate thing about the TDO2 is in its stock guise, which this is, in stock guise, it does have a rear clicky switch. So in order to get the light going, you don't have momentary, but you have to fully click it. And then from there, you can change your modes. But this does come in at 2000 lumens and also comes in with that SST40 from Luminous. So what I want to do is I want to take the Powertac M5 Generation 3 and the Workos TDO2 outside so we can see how the beam patterns compare, see if that extra 30 lumens is noticeable, and see what you guys think about this. So let's go ahead and take them outside.
All right, guys, so for tonight's comparison, we are doing the Powertac M5 G3. Now this is rated at 2030 lumens, and I'll go ahead and turn it on now. It will start in low mode because it does have memory, and that's what I had it set to. So it is in its equivalent to moonlight mode. So shining it at the ground now. Hopefully you guys can see this. Now I will go ahead and press the side switch and ramp it up. Here we go. This would be low, medium, high. Now this is turbo. This is all 2030 lumens. And if you press and hold the side switch, you do get your tactical strobe. And it's not a comparison unless we have another light. So to compare, I brought out the Workos TD02. Now for the Workhorse TD02, we do have Moonlight, Low, Medium, High, and this is Turbo. This is 2000 lumens from the Workhorse TD02. And if you do a quick double tap, you do have a tactical strobe with this as well. So this alternates between a faster and a slower frequency. Now, real fast, I'm going to go ahead and show you the Powertac M5 Gen3 one more time. We're going to start in the Eco mode, Low, Medium, High, and Turbo. And again, long press, you get your tactical strobe. All right, now that we saw this comparison, let's go ahead and get back inside.
All right, guys, we took the Workhorse TD02 and the Powertac M5 Generation 3 out, and we gave them that old night shot beam test. And I'm going to go ahead and say right out of the gate that the smooth reflector on the Powertac M5 does give a much tighter hotspot. You can see the hotspot on the TD02. However, I think if you want that a little more throw and you want that hotspot, definitely go with the Powertac M5 Gen3, and you're going to get that. So here, I'll go ahead and shine it right here real quick. Actually, that's probably not going to show up at all. Yeah, that's not going to show up at all. Never mind. Never mind. But as far as usability, I love that forward switch on the tail cap of the Powertac M5, and I think it was a missed opportunity with the Workhorse. However, I do like the ability to go ahead and turn on the TD02 and then be able to do a double tap to strobe. Now, I mean, frankly, with this user interface, I think there should also be a double tap to turbo option. But since you can set this one and always have it exactly how you want, the M5 Gen3 I think should have a double tap to strobe on that rear tail switch. So let's go ahead and get the Workhorse TD02 out of the way. And I'll tell you now that I do kind of want to see this with an SFT40. The SFT40, I think with that smooth reflector, will give you even more throw and a more defined hotspot. So I definitely think you could be looking forward to a video from me as far as swapping this LED over to an SFT40. Other than that, if they were to get the rear tactical switch to a double press to strobe, I think you would have an absolute winner on your hands. The feel, the fit, the finish is all fantastic, and I'm looking forward to seeing what else Powertac sends our way so we can do a full test. Now, guys, down in the description below, I will go ahead and link the Powertac website and specifically the M5 Gen3. So if you want to check this out, you can. Now, I really do like this. I'm going to go ahead and get a lot more use out of this, and I'm going to try to do some update videos as far as me getting some more use out of some of these lights. So I'm going to go ahead and do that. And also down in the comments, tell me if you do want to see that SFT40 swap video so you guys can find out how much better the throw is going to be. I mean, if it's going to be better at all. If not, I can easily swap it back. So thank you guys so much for being here with me today. If you could like this video, that would be fantastic. If you do, go ahead and share it with your friends and go ahead and subscribe to the channel and click that bell notification so you guys know when we have these videos coming up. Thank you guys so much, and we will see you in the next one.